Stephen Jones here in just a second. Bleacher Report posted Cowboys players who should be on the trade block after Week 3. Are you wanting to trade edge Dante Fowler, Brian? You've been watching. We're going to have to pick up this conversation because the executive VP, CEO, and director of player personnel for the Cowboys, Stephen Jones, has a few minutes for us on a busy Friday afternoon. And a good afternoon to you, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're not trading Dante Fowler.
Don't worry, Stephen. We were all going to say no. You can't have enough pass rushers.
This is a pretty sweet luxury you guys have with all these edge rushers. You know, what is it about this group now that's allowing them to take over games in the way they have so far through the first 3 weeks?
Well, I think a big part of it is you can't have enough, and if you can keep people fresh, and I know I was dying. I know our fans were dying when you keep Mike over there on the sideline, up 10 points, and he's sitting for 6-7 snaps trying to let him get his air and make sure he's all good to go for the end of it. That's when the Dante Fowlers and the Dorrance Armstrongs and Sam Williams, that's when they all come in handy, and you just can't have enough of them. Hats off to to Mike and Dan and Will, and that was our strategy in the off season. It was tough to lose Randy. We went hard at him, but in the meantime, we did get to keep Dorrance. We did get to go get Fowler, and we did get to keep Basham. So, we ended up keeping about 3 guys for 1 guy, and sometimes that works out for you.
Stephen, you've been in this league a long time, and it was always about continuity with your offensive line. Are we in an era now where you can play 5, 6, 7 guys, just continually rotate them in the offensive line and find ways to win games?
I think you can, Brian. I think as long as they bring something to the table. I mean, I don't want to dismiss the continuity is huge. I mean, if you really felt like you could have 5 guys in unison playing the same spot all year and injuries wouldn't play into it, I mean, that's perfect. But is it reality this day and time? And seems to be for the most part it's not. So you've got to go, you got to take the next step. And, we're certainly that, you can't have enough of those guys either. And, we obviously was getting Connor McGovern back and bringing Jason Peters into the mix. I thought Farniok did a really nice job. In everybody's absence, as we were working Peters into it, as we were, obviously we lost Connor McGovern and had to kick Tyler out to left tackle. But at the same time, we also know at some point Tyron Smith's going to come back into this mix. And, like I said, like pass rushers, like a lot of things, like corners, you can't have enough of them.
Stephen Jones here with us on The Fan. Are there things that you want Kellen and Dak to do together that you've seen Rush have success in the offense with?
No, I just think that the bigger thing is, that I would stress is that, and I know it's something that they really, that we talked about as an organization is, the running game. I think you got to be committed to it. And, when you got a guy like Dak who's shown he can throw it, 60 times a game. I mean, if that's what you wanted, or 50 times a game, I mean, he might can do it, but is it in the best interest of our team? And is it, the best way to win in terms of complementary football and what we do? So, I just think the bigger thing here is we're showing here that we've got an offensive line and some running backs who can run the ball well. I thought last week was really, a great mix for Zeke and Pollard in terms of their touches, and then a great mix with our offense. I think we were right at 50% passes, 50% runs, and if anything, I'd like to see that thing. I think we all would, maybe as an organization, even have it tilt a little more toward more runs than passes. But against Tampa, we got behind the 8 ball there, and we weren't. Although we ran it successfully, it was hard to stick with it when you got behind there late in the 3rd and 4th quarters that you had to get away from that run because you felt like you were playing catch up. But I think the biggest thing is complementary football and, really doing the things, that it helps to keep us balanced as an offense I think that's not only good for Cooper Rush, but I think it's good overall for your offense.
When you talk about running the football, and I totally agree, I'm glad you guys did this, but did Kellen Moore and the offensive coaches not recognize that you had to do that to counter the clog and cover techniques that have become so prevalent in the last year and a half?
No, going in, I think it was on everybody's mind that we needed to run the ball more. And certainly when you got two backs, we all know we've had Zeke for quite some time, but everybody looks over at Tony Pollard and said, why doesn't he touch it more? And, in order for him to touch it more, you got to run it more. I mean, don't get me wrong, you get in the ball in space with a pass or a screen or a smoke route. But, in general, you want to, I just think you want to get him more touches, which means run the ball more. And I think going into the season, that was the intent. We worked on it in the off season. And as I said, against Tampa, we were efficient running it. We just couldn't do it enough because we got behind.
Stephen, going back to the running game there, and it's been great. It was fun watching that left side with Tyler Smith and Jason Peters, and that seems like it's a really good relationship. Is that a tandem you'd like to see moving forward, or what's the plan with Connor McGovern getting back healthy on that left side? Well,
I think anytime you run the ball, you help your offensive line. That's at the end of the day, young offensive lineman, that's comes more natural, easier to run block. When with these pass rushers in this league, and when they know you're going to throw the ball, the challenge, certainly increases as you try to do that. And, to be able to run the ball there, it's obviously a strength of Tyler Smith. He's so strong and so good at the point there. And Farniok, I thought, did a nice job. I think it's a strong point for Connor McGovern. And obviously, Jason Peters moving in there. He's, in his career, he hadn't played a lot of guard, but he obviously showed he could get in there. And then, he's already a leader in that room. I mean, Zach Barton speaks for himself, but it's great to have Jason Peters on this football team.
Stephen, I know Washington's coming to AT&T Stadium this weekend, but as you look across the division, and every time Washington has a home game, their FedEx Field continues to leak pipes and sewage and just sort of crapping on their fans. Are you even surprised by that every time we see this thing?
Well, we're so worried about what we do, and we've got our challenges to put to be successful with the Dallas Cowboys, and we're worried about, our fan experience. We're worried about our football team. We're worried about the success of our football team. We're worried about our experience that we give our fans. And I know certainly Dan Snyder, I know the organization there, they're a proud organization. I know they want to have success as well.
Michael Gallup not on the final injury report. Is he expected to be a full go on Sunday against Washington?
As we sit here right now, we feel really good about it. And, real good about our guys that are coming back. Certainly we had some challenges there after the first game, between what had happened to us, with Tyron Smith and in the training camp, during the training camp, losing him, and then losing a handful of guys there for 2 or 3, 4 weeks in that first game. But we're going to be getting a lot of these guys back. It's a plus. I do think we put together, a deep roster in most areas. And, it's great to, you give guys opportunities. Certainly Noah Brown showed what he can do when given an opportunity. C.D. Lamb obviously came on strong the last game or two and showing what he's capable of doing. And seeing Tyler Smith get a great opportunity out there. You give these young guys opportunities and they step up, it makes you better overall as a football team. So it's great to be not only seeing what can happen when we get Gallup back to go with CD and Noah and Tolbert and Semi and that group. And then, I thought our young tight ends did a good job in the absence of Schultz last week. But at the same time, it'll be great to have Dalton Schultz back.